Hello and welcome to another segment of Interviews That Matter. I'm your host Raj Mehta. Friends, in this segment we bring those guests who influence our lives. This includes elected officials, policymakers, heads of major organizations and other dignitaries. It is my sincere hope that the knowledge brought in by these guests will help our community. We have our guest today who is Supervisor of the town of North Hempstead, Jon Kaiman. Supervisor Kaiman has been a good friend of our community and very supportive of several programs, includes Adult Center at the town of North Hempstead as well as the Diwali Celebration for last 8 years. Let's meet Supervisor Kaiman. Supervisor, welcome to the show.
Absolutely.
Thank you for taking time.
Thank you for having me.
Sir, first, I wanted to find out, I'm always curious that, how did you get started in politics? I mean, you were a judge before, and you were a very successful judge, I would say, that, you had got a lot of commendation from Nassau County Bar Association within 2 years. So why did you decide to change to become a supervisor?
I became a judge at a very young age,
You're still young.
Yes, but I think I was, I don't remember exactly actually how old I was, but I was pretty young. So to be in my early 30s and to be a judge was great. It was a great opportunity. It was interesting. I did it for almost 3 years. But I've been very interested my entire adult life in politics and government, and politics is a means to an end. And the end is to be able to serve in government and to actually try to achieve big things, small things as well, but to achieve big things. And so the judicial opportunity, came to me. I served for a few years, was involved, made some decisions, really got some great experience. But when May Newberger, who was a former supervisor, when she indicated she was going to retire, I thought that was an opportunity I did not want to pass up. And so I put my hat in the ring and was ultimately elected. And so that was something that I'm glad I did. It's a great challenge, and it's something I'll always have with me, and that is being a judge.
Okay, and who, I guess, what was your mentor? May Newberger was your mentor? Or?
Certainly May Newberger was one of them. She was supervisor for about 10 years. I was one of her commissioners. I was a commissioner of public safety.
Oh, okay.
I had previously been a lawyer, and I had started my own law firm. Was doing trials, some exciting stuff as a lawyer. May Newberger had come to me and offered me a position of being the first public safety commissioner in the town of North Hempstead, which was overseeing code enforcement and harbor patrol and town security, and I thought that emergency management, I thought it was an interesting opportunity, so I decided to try it out for a few years, work in government. Okay. And I did that actually for 2 years before I was offered the position of judge. It was an appointed position that I then had to run for, so I accepted the appointment, and that's how that all happened. But May was really an extraordinary person. She's in her mid-90s right now, but she's an extraordinary person, and the town was going through great financial stress at the time when she took over. There was great environmental, or a number of environmental issues that she was trying to deal with. And so she was able to take the town and help it survive those financial stresses at the time, giving me a window into how to deal with the adversity that one has to deal with when in government, and to do it with integrity and stature and dignity. And I thought that she was a great model for that type of role. So I was glad when I had the opportunity to come in and serve as town supervisor, and I had the ability to create a new era in local government, and I think that's been our goal, and we've certainly achieved it in many respects. And a lot of that is because of the work that she had done before me.
So this is your 5th term.
Yes.
Your first term started in 2004.
Correct, January 2004.
Now, when you walked in first time, January 4th, January 1 or 2nd or whatever it is in 2004, and now, how do you see, your, how do you feel it from day one to now?
Right. Well, it's different just being more experienced at the job. I mean, this is a profession in many respects. It's a great responsibility, like running a business, leading a community, running any type of large organization. We have hundreds of employees. We have great public responsibility. We have a great deal of conflict between legitimate competing interests, one community versus another community, one business versus another business, business versus residential, all these great conflicts. Learning how to deal with that has been a great challenge. And so coming in 2004, it was great to be young and ambitious and have great ideas, creating an administration. There was a lot of energy and bringing in new people. It was very exciting. The transition over time is that one gets more depth to their experience, and one has a greater ability, I think, to deal with these challenges as they come up. I think it's easier for me in many respects.
Right.
It also takes a toll on you. I mean, there's a constant level of intensity that goes with this type of job. And so having to deal with that, I guess, changes over time. And so I suppose I'm a little bit more mature, more experienced, a little older, a little wiser, things like that, I do think do make a difference.
So it's faster to solve the problems now than before, obviously, because of the experience and wisdom that you gained during this time.
Yeah, I don't know if it's always faster. Sometimes resolving a problem means taking longer, stretching it out, dealing with different issues by including additional people in the process, waiting for the issue to become ripe. But it certainly is, I guess, better understood. I'm more skilled at it, just like one would become more skilled at any other job that they do for a decade.
Same as me. I mean, it's been 25 years in my business, so same thing. Anyway, you have initiated many innovative programs, since 2004, and I mean, I'm aware of a lot of different programs that you have done. And what is your most favorite program that you think that you feel great about?
Well, interesting question. I would say that the three major programs that jump out at me, and I'll see if I can pick one of them, but is one of the first things I did is started the process of creating 311 for our suburban community. We're a community of 240,000 people, 230,000 people. It's the fifth largest town in America, by the way. It's the fifth largest town in New York State, which happens to be the fifth largest town in America. A lot of diverse communities, a lot of different communities. We created a system where people can call one single number, and it's not just a hotline, but a portal to all information that the town has. It's access to all government through this one phone number. And so creating this suburban entranceway into local government where every response was consistent, the same information, the same questions were asked, the same response. We log in and document every call, every response, at the duration of our response, the quality of our response. That new management tool, it's a performance measurement tool. It's just a great feature that we now offer. Cities have offered it, by the way, throughout the country. It started in Baltimore years back. A number of cities have taken it up, but we were the first suburban community to launch townwide in such a large area this great program. So that, I think, is one of the most, it's a great achievement because it's become institutional. People in North Hempstead know you call 311 and you will get a call taker who will document your call and get you to the right place to resolution. Last year we had 180,000 calls go through our 311 system. Another big program, though, was our school recycling program. We now have 34,000 students participating in our school recycling program. We've won state and federal awards for it. It's just a magnificent idea that we had, and I certainly initiated it by launching the whole notion that we should take on the responsibility of recycling in each of our 11 school districts. And since we started it, 9 of our 11 school districts have signed on, including some of the private schools. Actually, we have St. Mary's and Notre Dame in New Hyde Park. They've joined in as well. So we're actually probably pushing 35,000 students that all participate in our program where they recycle. We put 2 recycling bins in every classroom, in every school. We have scales where they weigh the recyclables. They document how much they weigh. They document how many trees they saved, how much oil they saved, how many fossil fuels, how they protected the environment. So it's a math lesson, it's a civics lesson, it's a science lesson, and it's just a great program that we developed. And again, 35,000 people, and we've grown it to where we now have composting, and we've added recycle the rain, and we've added a food to feed program. We're helping feed poor folks by delivering food from their school cafeterias to pantries that deliver food to the poor. We recycle, or we collect pharmaceuticals so they don't get into the community and they don't go into the environment. So many has programs, positive programs have been generated by that recycle program, that's certainly a great feature. And then the third one would be Project Independence, where we are helping our senior population age in place. And we've created a system where, through a partnership with 311, Senior Calls 311, and they get social workers from our Project Independence program that help them with virtually any need that they have. It could be a visiting nurse, it could be a social worker, it could be transportation, through a partnership that we developed through a taxi companies, where we get them to their shopping visits or their medical visits. We get them a handyman, we get them education or other information that they need, we get them physical fitness programming, and again, visiting nurses from the local hospitals. That's all paid through grants, and we've saved hundreds of thousands of dollars for locally, federally, state-wise, and we've achieved more and more grants. So we've got 25,000 seniors using our transportation program and Project Independence alone, where you call 311 and you get a taxi cab to come take you from your house to the medical visit, and then they'll pick you up later and bring you back at a fraction of the price it would cost you. We actually have a system where the taxis have agreed to charge the Medicare rate, and then we pay the other half of what's remaining, and it's really just a great program. So of those three, Raj, I can't tell you that I could decide, but those are my three favorite programs that I've developed, and they've really just become national models, so I'm real proud of all three of them.
Well, that's very nice. That's very good, and we are very, you are a visionary person, and I've known you for a long time, so I know you very well,
Yes, yes, you do.
North Hempstead, town of North Hempstead has over 100 municipal governments, right? And Governor Cuomo is in the favor of consolidation, some consolidation, thereby saving some money for the taxpayers. I wanted to know your thoughts on that. Really?
Well, town of North Hempstead, again, it's a large community. We have, within our town, we have 31 villages. We have 11 school districts, and we have over 60 special districts. Those are fire districts, garbage districts, police districts, park districts, water districts, sewage districts. So we have a lot of municipal governments, including a number of authorities. So all combined, we do have over 100 municipal governments within our one town. What we've learned is there is an attachment by very many local communities to their local control, their local government, and so it's not easy to simply consolidate or undo what's been created. What we do now, though, is I've created something called the Office of Intermunicipal Coordination, and I've actually testified on the governor's, a number of the governor's committees on what we've done, and again, I think we've become quite a bit of a model for that as well, where our Office of Intermunicipal Coordination helps coordinate regularly, weekly, almost daily sometimes, with all of those districts and local governments, providing shared services or mechanisms to reduce costs. Sharing information sometimes saves money, saves time, helps people do a better job. We have intermunicipal contracts with 80 of our 100 governments, so we might provide fuel for several of the school districts, so their buses will come to our fuel depot. So we order it, and it's because we order so much more, we get a better price. We have our highway department pave roads for a number of the villages. We might fill potholes for some of the villages. We're actually doing something with Nassau County. Asked us to continue paving a road that we are responsible for, Plandome Road in Hempstead. The county is responsible for that same road when it gets into the Plandomes. Right. So through our intermunicipal efforts, we've actually partnered with Nassau County for our people to pave the road as it goes through the county. So it saves substantial dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes $100,000, because we're already set up, we're already doing the work. It's not that much more to just pave another tenth of a mile or 2.5 miles, whatever it is. Sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
so
makes a lot of sense.
It's really sharing services, sharing information, developing communications, which you yourself, by the way, have been at the forefront with our community in terms of what we've done with Great Neck and the just linking the communities together. So we've used technology and again used your own visionary systems and abilities to help us kind of break down those barriers by using technology and communication to help us work together with villages, districts, towns, county, state, federal government, and everybody else that's out there.
See, basically, I've always said that, if you are seeing somebody, then the ego comes on the way. But if you are behind the curtain, meaning that, behind the digital curtain, right, then that doesn't come that much. It does come, but not, still.
Right. It's true.
It's in a while it makes sense, right?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. Supervisor, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Very good.
Please stay with us. Welcome back. I wanted to, there's a large number of Indian, South Asians actually, South Asian population in town of North Hempstead, right? So I know you're connected with many people from South Asia, and I wanted to find out from you that what do you think of their contribution in the town, in terms of economy, in terms of other values that they provide.
Right. Well, historically, other cultures coming into America itself has proved a great boon. It's a way for America to regenerate itself, and we do that from time to time, generation after generation. Our community is fortunate in the North Shore of Long Island, Nassau County, and certainly the town of North Hempstead, where we've had an influx of a number of communities, but South Asian communities specifically have been a very large group that's really been growing in throughout North Hempstead. And those include the Indian community, Pakistani community. We have a large Korean and Chinese and other Asian communities from even other regions. What's happened here, because this is a fairly high-end community, we're tending to get those that can afford to move in and grow a business here or bring their family here. And so we've had a very strong contingent, I would say, of these cultural groups. So we've done very well. I mean, these are groups that certainly, as you know, the Indian community and many of the other Asian communities have very similar priorities. Education, for instance, very strong business ethics. There's and not just working a business, but growing business. There's very strong medical background, scientific background. And so those are the types of communities that thrive in areas such as this. And we're seeing that contribution daily. I mean, the businesses that are growing. Again, Raj, your business here, not necessarily in the town of North Hempstead, but you're a resident in our town. And so we benefit by your success. But other folks, again, whether or not they're in the medical profession, there's a lot of doctors, a lot of, again, people with a scientific background, people who are growing businesses. So it's a boon to our economy, it's a boon to our communities. It adds cultural diversity, which I think creates even more interest and fascination within our community. Different cultures, different foods, different dance, different dress, different speech. I mean, all those things help grow a neighborhood and make it more exciting in many ways. And so I think we all benefit.
Well, you mentioned food, so you like Indian food.
I certainly do. I've gotten used to it, and I know you've helped me learn from the spice to the desserts and the yogurt drinks, and yes, absolutely.
So what is your favorite food, Indian food?
The chicken marsala, I would say, is definitely amongst my favorite.
Similar thing with Congressman Israel.
Oh yes,
so
yes.
He had mentioned the same thing.
Very interesting. Yes, that's definitely I would say the favorite.
Now, with your inspiration, in 2004, I mean, I was able to start Diwali Celebration at the town hall, and that was very nice. And thank you so much for that. And you have attended every year. Since then, it has become a tradition in the town of North Hempstead celebration. When you attend this event, how do you feel about it? I mean,
Well, Diwali, like many of the other festivals, and many cultural groups that connect with their history, their culture, even their family through these types of whether it's spiritual or cultural, or sometimes they're seasonal events. A lot of events like this celebrate harvest, like we do. We have Thanksgiving, others celebrate things like that. Diwali is the Festival of Lights. It's a great opportunity for folks like myself, leaders within a community, to participate with a community that's connecting to their original roots, and that is always exciting, and it's important. It's important to understand, and it's when one understands where people come from, and how they celebrate, and what they believe in. You get a better feel for the differences that we have and the similarities that we have. A lot of communities and cultures have holidays that are referred to as a Festival of Lights. There's something that's common to all human nature, I suppose.
Right.
And again, the harvest is another one where almost every culture celebrates some type of harvest type celebration. And for us to understand that, appreciate that, gives us a window into other people's worlds and realize, one, we have wonderful differences, but we also have a lot of commonality. And when we realize that we are all common in the human race. We tend to be more accepting, and I think that's a very positive thing. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to see the dance and taste the food and enjoy the company.
Yeah, we normally have firecrackers, but you don't allow that. So
no, we don't. Right. So we have to create our own limitations sometimes.
Yeah. Now, Governor, I would come to the governor, Governor Cuomo, right? I mean, he has been able to really maneuver through the, politics and kind of pass the budget 2 times in a row, on time. And he's been, taking a lot of initiative and tough action, rather, which is kind of, good for the people.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely,
I want to know your thoughts on it. I mean, I think he's doing a great job, but what do you think of it?
Yeah, I think he came into office in almost an impossible time. The economy was terrible. The government was balkanized, fragmented. I think he came in as a very strong leader with a very strong appreciation of what needed to be done, and he had the will to push the plan forward. And he did it in a way that was not done in a manner that created separation, but he actually brought people together, even people who might have disagreed with him.
Right.
Certainly Republicans and Democrats, the most basic distinction between those of us in politics. I don't think I can remember a time where people on both sides of the political aisle have worked so closely together to work on behalf of the state, and that's a singular achievement that I think goes right to the governor's door. But the way he's been able to deal with the economy, the environmental issues, again, dealing with union issues, issues that are important to all of us, but we have different takes on it. Just bringing multicultural issues, and I can go into all sorts of details. We don't really have time, but I think he's been just someone who's had a tremendous success with an overwhelming degree of just output, and that's in such a short time. And that's a common theme when you hear speeches about the governor and his administration and what they've been able to achieve. They're strong. They're set in terms of how to try to achieve these goals. They keep their eye on the prize. They've had success, and they move the pile forward, and they do it in a way that's all-inclusive. I think that's a just great tribute to the man who's in that office right now. That's Governor Cuomo.
I think either he has a magic, or the other side is kind of cooperating. Either or.
A little of everything, a little of both.
Little of everything. Right. Yeah. Now, your 5th term will be ending next year, right? And obviously, I have a big question for you. I've been hearing about it, from Great Vibes that, you might be running for, or, your name comes up all the time for Nassau County Executive against Ed Mangano. And I want to open your heart up in this show. And tell us, without saying yes or no or anything, tell us what is there.
Well, it's certainly a sensitive question. I'm honored to be considered for a number of different positions. People put my name in the ring for a number of public offices, for private offices. It's great to have had such success that people recognize the things that I do and have confidence that I might be able to take on other roles. And certainly at some point, I'd like to take on another role. One doesn't stay in the same place forever because you become stagnant, and there really is a time when one should move on. I don't know that I'm prepared to make that decision yet. I think that I certainly love my job. The town supervisor's role is a great role. I'm, again, the chief executive of the 5th largest town in America. It's a great place to be. It's a wonderful opportunity that I've thoroughly enjoyed. I've done very important things, and I think I've made a difference. But I'm keeping my mind open. We're at the end of 2012. We still have several months to go before this year is out. I'm going to continue to keep my eyes and ears open as to what might be next. I'm listening to what people have to say, but there really is no decision made at this point. It's easy from folks in politics to go on and say, I'm going to go take someone else's job or run for that office. I need to talk to my family. I need to dig within myself. I need to talk to friends and supporters and make sure that the next move that I make is the right move for me and my family and those that have supported me over the years. But maybe in the next few months we'll get a better handle on that, but we're not quite ready yet.
So you'll have to come again on this show.
Absolutely. When I'm sure of what I'm doing, I'll be glad to come and talk to you about it.
I know that you are involved with the temple, and you do sing over there. So I want to request you that if you can sing for us one line.
Yeah, no, as you know, you've asked me to do this from time to time. That's not going to happen. My wife and I join our local synagogues, community theater group, and my children have been involved in it. And that's kind of the thing we do on the side. It's our family thing. We have a wonderful theater group in our local temple. Well, maybe so, but that I keep separate. That's people. If they were to hear me, they'd be glad that I stick to my politics. I'm sure it's politics and government.
How can we help you, South Asian community, to the office of supervisor? Rather?
I think the South Asian community, like any other community, should remain and continue to be involved. 90% of success is showing up. Do things like you're doing here. Have interviews with governmental leaders. Better educate the next generation of folks that are coming up. People who are younger and have now grown up in this country, even those who have come from elsewhere. You've been here for a while. Engage local leaders. Show up to events, participate in the decision-making process, and so I think that's just a great way to present oneself. And then what that does for someone like me and others who are in leadership positions, it not only does it give us a window into the community, but it helps us see which leaders are emerging, and then tap into those leaders, invite those leaders to play a role, help make decisions, be an ambassador to various communities. And you could do that not just whether you could be an Indian American, helping us being an ambassador into the cultural community. You could be a person that lives in a particular community, inviting us to your neighborhood to see what the local issues are. It's not strictly about being involved in your cultural past, but just about your community itself. What's happening on your block? What are the issues that you're facing? What are your issues that you're dealing with, that you're concerned about? And it could be the local streets. It could be crime and public safety. It could be environmental. But get involved and participate. And I think that's the greatest way to kind of lift rising tide lifts all ships. One grows your own community and individual participation. That helps me do my job better.
Well, I want to congratulate for all your successes in the past, and you've done a lot remarkably well. So
thank you.
Whatever you do in the future, I'm sure it will be great. I have no doubt about it, personally, because I know you personally also.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I absolutely am positive and confident, right? So really appreciate you taking time to join us here today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any suggestion, question, comments, if you can email me at rajamitv@gmail.com. I'm sorry, rajamitv@gmail.com. Until next time, see you. Thank you.